Welcome to Sultai Spider Cats. Hope you're excited. This is my pre-release deck from Guilds of Ravnica. I went 1 and 3, and I got one prize pack. So before we jump into what deck I played, I was going to open it real quick because I've been dying to open it ever since I got back from the gaming store. But yeah, I went 1 and 3, and I'll kind of tell you about some of my matches. But let's see if we can't. So we've got Torch Courier. Yeah, this art really trips me out. He looks so like, huh, who, me? You pointing at me? Unexplained. We have Wild Ceratok, a Child of Night. We've got Deadly Visit. I could have used that for my pre-release. Now you show up. Is It Locket? I really enjoy those lockets. They look real nice. And I'm really happy with the way some of this Is It stuff went. Some of the art for these cards, I really enjoyed how they turned out. Iron Shell Beetle, Guild Summit, would have definitely liked to enjoy that. I played against Guild Summit, I think 2 or 3 times, and pretty good card, not going to lie. Goblin Banneret, and then Thought Eraser. And actually, I think that might have worked out. Let's see what the rare is. That's going to be Charnel Troll. And actually, that worked out really well because I ended up building a Sultai deck. And then that is going to be... Actually, that probably would have worked out too. But yeah, it would have been nice to have that. So that's the rare for the pack. That was my my pity pack, whatever you want to call it. I did end up going 1 and 3. And I'll talk about our matches. But I ended up building Sultai Spider Cat. And we ended up running, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4. Had 4 islands in there. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 swamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 5 forest, and then 1 Golgari Guild Gate. I was hoping to get a little bit more lucky with some of the Guild Gates, hopefully having a Dimir Guild Gate, but unfortunately I did not get a Guild Gate on color, but it worked out. I had Chromatic Lantern, which I kind of bounce in between rounds depending on what's going on. But the gist of the deck, so I had 2 of these in here. This is going to be the Death Touch. That was always nice, just kind of gum up the board just a little bit, get these down. Barrier of Bones actually worked out really well getting that down because you wanted to get that Surveil going really quickly as possible. And then especially, you know, I played against Boros 2 times during the pre-release, and simply just having a 0-3 to kind of slow down some of those mentor creatures really did help. So 2 of those, so my 1-drops would look pretty good. Glowspore Shaman was my good utility shaman creature, whatever you're going to call that. We had Pass Wall Adept, which late game it really did help us kind of, you know, some of the bigger creatures you can go for that activated ability for 3 mana, which is basically nothing. And here's what the deck really shines, and that's Generous Stray. Look how generous these strays were. I had all 3 of them. 3 cats. All day it was just, I would cast Generous Stray and I'd be like, I'd just go cat. I just wouldn't even say his name. I'd just say cat. And then my opponent would be like, yes, I'd be like, draw a card. So there's 3 of those. We had Playcrafter. This was an all-star during my pre-release. I love this card. This is basically, I opened this up and I was like, all right, you know, I'm building a deck around Playcrafter. There's just a lot of times where my deck was basically just, you know, good value creatures like Playcrafter and spot removal. And it was just ended up being pretty good off that. Trooper, this is actually really good. You know, there's a lot of times where this is discarded creature card. It's not sorcery speed, so you can activate it at any time. So this was pretty good during my playtesting, or at least my pre-release. This one kind of popped in and out depending on who we were playing against. Just having a 3-1 clock. If some of our grindier matches, you know, if there's a lot of trading of creatures and a lot of removal trading, I brought this one in just to kind of act like a Delver or something like that. This one, the Rhizome Lurcher. Love this zombie card. Enters the battlefield, +1 counters on it equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Especially if you get that Surveil going. Have a lot of creature cards in the graveyard. You know, at one point, one of my opponents cast this card, and it was like an 8-8 or a 9-9 or something like that, which it doesn't have trample, but you know, it's enough to throw a chump blocker in front of it to stop that damage. Muse Drake, once again, keeping on theme with that card draw. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. Plus, if you need to get that 20-turn clock established, look at that. That is a 1-3 right there. Watcher in the Mist. That was me. This was me at the pre-release as I looked at everybody opening up really good cards and I just looking across the room at their card pool. But anyway, so it has flying, enters the battlefield, Surveil 2. Basically, it's just a 3-4. Yeah, that was me, man. I was like, wow. You open up an Assassin's Trophy? I wanted one of those. Get that down. Lot-Led Giant. Unfortunately, I did not get to cast this card. I almost cut it from that deck when I was like, whatever, this is pre-release. We've got a lot of Surveil in here. There was one time to where it would have won me the game. And obviously, this is, you know, beggars can be choosers. But like, it was the first card that oh, that's what it is. I milled it off the, who was it? I milled it off Glowspore Shaman, like on turn 2. So, like, and that would have been so good in this matchup. Like, I would have cast it late game because I had more than enough mana. We were just making land drops, and that would have closed the game out. But unfortunately, that was the first one milled out, so I never got a chance to cast it, but I wanted to really bad. And I'm going to try to find a home for him in Commander because, I don't know, I just love finding unique cards like this, and definitely want to find home for him. Now, this is where the spiders come in. So I opened one up as my rare, and then my pre-release pack for my gilded. I ended up choosing Golgari if I didn't mention that. But yeah, my Golgari seeded pack this was the promo. So, and as far as some of my other green creatures spells, things weren't looking good. And also, like on the way up there, I decided I was pretty much going to go Sultai no matter what. And so there was not really much to offer in my card pool, so I ended up going Sultai. Now, on to the non-creature spells, Unexplained Disappearance. I love playing with tempo spells like this, bounce a card back to its hand. We can actually bounce something like one of our sack outlets, or if we want to bounce Glowspore Shaman back to the... go for Playcrafter or Glowspore Shaman, bounce either of those creatures back, and you get a Surveil for 1, which is really nice. We had Notion Rain, and this is one of those cards where I was like, I just want to open like multiple copies of Notion Rain because I love drawing... losing a life and drawing cards. So I only opened up one of them, but that definitely kind of shifted me over into Sultai. And actually opened up 2 Price of Fames, which really worked out. All day, it was a 4-mana removal spell, except for my very last round when I played against the Sultai mirror match, and my opponent had a Trotta. And so it was just like, because like I went for Price of Fame once, and then he countered it for 2 mana, and then I drew into it later again, and he goes, you have another one? I was like, yeah, man. And then the Trotta was the only legendary creature I saw all day, so it was definitely worth the Price of Fame. I also ran the status statue. I never got an opportunity to use this one right here. You know, there's a couple different... could have used it on a few different creatures, but for the most part, I was always using statue. And last but not least, is going to be Deadly Visit. And even though it was 5 mana, I loved casting this card. It was so nice. The art looks good. And then Destroy Target Creature Surveil 2, which was, it's always fun to get that little extra dredge option going. But as far as what happened within the... let's make this spread out so even a little bit of background. Round 1, I played against Red-White Boros. Got off to a really quick 2-0 start. I was really happy about that. As you can tell, I was at 20, got our opponent all the way down to 6. And the next round, I had combat damage. My opponent did get my life total down. But in game 2, I got him all the way down to 15, so that was game against Red-White Boros. Got pretty lucky. I'm feeling pretty good. Ended up playing round 2, playing against Sultai Red, if that's what you want to call it. The core of the deck was a Sultai deck, but they their rare was Niv Mizzet, so they had Niv Mizzet in there too, which is you're trying to do Sultai with triple blue and triple red. Hey, more power to you. But my opponent won. They got it. Game 1, it was pretty close. I mean, not close. They got me down pretty quick. And then game 2, oh my gosh. Game 2 was great because we got down Playcrafter. Basically, I had some pretty good removal in my hand. Let me find Playcrafter so you can see it, just to get a little, show them off. Because normally I don't get to do paper card stuff, so I always like to kind of show this stuff off. But yeah, with Playcrafter, where are you, buddy? There we are. So in game 2, it just kind of became beat sticks for Playcrafter. I got rid of all the creatures, made him sacrifice a creature, and then I got them all the way down to 3, but they stabilized. They started to build a board state, and I could not stop that from there. Oh, I forgot to mention, when I was covering the deck, the main line of play that I was going for with the deck is, since we had 3 copies of Cat, that was going to be the one that we could hopefully hit the most off of a spider. So that's basically what I went for with the deck, just building some sort of card draw engine of getting that on the battlefield and drawing some cards. So wasn't the best option out there, but given with what I was opened up, that was about the best thing I could come up with. Either that or just jam 5 color, which I thought about doing that, but I was like, let's just build a semi-coherent Sultai deck. But yeah, so I got my opponent down to 3, but unfortunately they stabilized and got it from there. Moving on to round 3. I played against Jeskai Aggro. Basically just Boro, but they splashed for some of the the blue enchantments that the one we just opened actually. Which one was it? Guild Summit. This Jeskai was stuff like Guild Summit where they could take advantage of some of that card draw. Game 1, pretty quick. They got down 2 or 3 mentor creatures and just couldn't stop it. I got all the way down to 1, never even touched their life total. Game 2, I got a pretty good, I just had a nice curve. I got the Assassin, the Death Touch down. I got the Shaman down, the Glowspore, whatever his name was. And then I just kind of kept just getting tons of removal. And then I got them all the way down to 3 and closed it out. And then game 3, unfortunately, they took it pretty quick. I just could not stop they hit their curve just so well with that mentor, and they took it. So good game to our opponent. And then round 4, I played against the Sultai mirror match, just straight up Sultai, and it was a lot of fun. Game 1, I took game 1, and then my opponent took game 2. No, excuse me. My opponent took game 1. That's what it was. My opponent took game 1. I took game 2. And a lot of these Sultai matches, we pretty much had the same core deck. You know, we had a lot of stuff like Notion Rain. He had a few more counter spells in there, but for the most part, we were running the same style deck. I took game 2, and then when we went to game 3, he took game 3. So, but that was my pre-release. If you have any sort of pre-release stories, please hop in the comments, tell me down below. I definitely like hearing about it. Any funny pre-releases story, any pulls that you got, anything of that nature, I want to find out about it because I love hearing about Magic, and like this is why I made my channel, is to like I don't have a ton of Magic friends, and so it's just kind of like I want to hear about y'all's pre-release. So if you open up some really cool, tell me what guild you went, what deck you went with, and what your record was. If you want any prize support, anything like that, I would love to hear about it. And I think that's going to wrap it up for the video. I was really happy to be able to make it out to a pre-release and get back and be able to record a video so y'all can see that. But that's going to wrap it up for the video. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.